This is a thriller. What is this even called? Like, what genre is this? I don't like this genre at all. There's nothing thrilling about this for me. What's up, you guys? So welcome back to my channel. I am doing a reading vlog today, and it's for the book The Butterfly Garden by Dot Hutchison. Now, I'm doing this reading vlog with my friends, but yeah, so this is a thriller book, and we're all gonna be reading this book together this week as a buddy read. A quick synopsis: this book is about this man. He captures and kidnaps these women, and he holds them kind of hostage in this place that he calls the Butterfly Garden. However, he gets caught, and this young woman, Maya, she's a survivor. She helps the FBI unpack this case and solve this case. But apparently she also is hiding secrets as well. So I don't know if there are any trigger warnings in this book. I don't know. Aside from kidnapping, I have no idea. So I'll try to keep you guys kind of updated as I'm reading. Okay, so I now know why it's called the Butterfly Garden. Okay, so basic freaking this man takes these girls. They have an expiration date at the age of 21. He kills them. It doesn't say how he kills them, but he preserves their bodies in resin in like a glass, and like he tattoos their back with a big butterfly. And the man keeps their bodies in this thing. Like, he keeps their bodies in this thing, and he has like this, I'm assuming it's probably a big piece of land and probably a big building, because it's a long hallway with different rooms, and I guess all these rooms have a bunch of I'm laughing at my friend, but I think she's got to that part. Hold on, because we're both sitting here like we're both shook because wow, like she said she's gonna throw up. It's not funny because it's really freaking creepy, and I mean, it's creative as far as the book content is concerned, but yeah, that was a lot to read. I'm actually about to take a break from this book because I really need to take a step back from it for a second, and I'm gonna go and play some tennis with my best friend, so I'll be back.
Yeah, but this is different. You had to search to find some self-comfort. So find a way to
back at my house. I'm about to keep torturing myself with this gosh darn book. So I'm a terrible reader. I'm supposed to be reading this book, but I'm also watching some trash TV. I'm watching Love Island USA. Do you guys watch the show? Yes or no? So I'm reading in between like the commercials. Alright, y'all, it's like 2 in the morning. I mean, I wish I could tell you what I think right now. I think this book sucks. Like, the book is great and the book is good, but the plot, I don't know. I mean, you can say a thriller is great, but it's sickening. So it's great in the sense that it definitely is doing its job. It's doing what it's meant to do. But we'll go into depth and a little bit more tomorrow. I'm going to sleep right now though. So good night, you guys. I'll see y'all in a few seconds, actually.
I can't let you slip away. Get it together. Get it together.
I am officially at 74% of the book. So let's talk about a little bit about what I've read so far. Mind you, this entire book surrounds this man called the gardener, and he kidnaps girls, all under the age of 21 but older than 16, or at least 16. And he kidnaps them and takes them to this place, this garden-like place, and he tattoos them with a butterfly on their back, this big butterfly on their back, and then they all live in this place together. He apparently kidnaps beautiful girls. And we actually just learned not long ago about how this all started. His father used to collect actual butterflies, and he would keep them in like the butterfly garden, like in the glass and resin. And one day this place, his house burned down, and so the butterfly garden was destroyed. And so he, I guess, is like carrying on his legacy, but he had kidnapped this girl for the first time, and then it just kept going from there. And now, he's been doing this for 3 decades. And so mind you, he also sleeps with these women, well, these girls, and it's definitely it can be hard to read for some people. It is definitely well written. I will give the author that. Dot Hutchison wrote this book very well. I would say that it's written well because the feeling that you are supposed to feel from something like this, from hearing a story like this, I'm definitely feeling. I think I'm not sure if I said this before, but I really enjoy how this book is set up because we're in an interrogation room. So the book is really told in 2 perspectives. You have the present and you have flashbacks. And Maya is currently in an interrogation room telling the 2 FBI agents, she's telling them basically the timeline of when she got there to, I guess, when she was found. I'm really enjoying Maya, the main character. She's witty. She's actually kind of funny. I also am enjoying Victor. Victor is one of the FBI agents. I love his character too because he's smart and he understands Maya in a way that Edison does not, his partner. And so he, I feel like, is doing a great job with his job because he's giving Maya the opportunity, the space to speak in the way she needs to speak to get the truth out. Edison, on the other hand, wants to force the truth out of her. He wants her to tell him now, and for obviously other reasons too, but he doesn't trust her, which is understandable. I mean, I don't either. I still don't trust Maya, but there's a purpose for that, I'm sure. And I think that it definitely kind of sheds a lot of light on the fact that victims tend to be looked at as both a victim and a suspect when you have situations like these. And I think it's something to think about, especially in the justice system in America. A lot of times victims, especially of certain crimes, they're not treated as victims for a very long time. They're treated as suspects. They're treated as people to get information out of. And I understand that you need information from them because they are firsthand witnesses as to what happened, but they are still people who experienced something that happened to them. They didn't ask for that. So it's definitely an interesting story so far. Like, I need y'all to help me understand something for a second. Why would you want to write something like this? Like, honestly, ignore my TV in the background. Listen to me. Focus on me. Why would you want to write something like this? I would never think to write something like this. Like, if I could think of the sickest thing I could think of, it isn't that. Like, why would you fix your fingers and like write a book like this? Let's talk about The Butterfly Garden by Dot Hutchison. Yeah, I feel a tad bit conflicted about a rating right now, so I'm not gonna give y'all a rating. I mean, if I did, it would either be a 4 or 3.5, so it's like one of those 2. We quickly are introduced to his sons, Avery and Desmond. Avery is more like his father when it comes to the garden because he has this attachment to it simply because he wants to make his father proud. He wants to kind of inherit the garden. Desmond, on the other hand, is different. Desmond actually does not ever touch the girls in there. He doesn't do anything harmful, inherently harmful to them. He actually forms kind of a relationship with Maya, which I don't approve of. I didn't like it. I didn't care for it because for Maya, it wasn't real for her. But for him, I think it was very much real. I think his character was one of the more interesting characters because he was conflicted with a couple of things. For one, he was falling for this girl that was kidnapped by his father. He refused to kind of see the truth even though it was right in front of him, so that annoyed me a lot. And I didn't like how the author kind of wrote him in a sense where like the reader is conflicted because you kind of want to feel sorry for him, you want to feel bad for him, and you kind of at some part even like him because he does provide a comfort to a lot of the girls in there. However, he was complicit in the fact that he knew about what his father was doing. He knew enough that it was illegal and wrong. I didn't like how his character was written because it was like you're pulling at our heartstrings. You want to feel bad for him, but also, and like him, but like also he's garbage. Like he sucks. there was a big change in this book, a shift in this story where, like I told you before, the gardener only ever brings girls who are at least 16, never younger than that. Well, Avery, trying to please his father, goes and kidnaps a 12-year-old girl, brings her to this place. Mind you, he had already assaulted this girl sexually. He kidnapped her, and he just went against everything his father believed in. So his father's like freaking out, like, why'd you do this? What are you doing? His father believes that he can't send the girl back out into the world because she might talk and tell, you know, about the butterfly garden. And so Maya makes the gardener promise that nobody will touch this little girl, and he keeps his word. No one touches her. She was only there for 4 days. And so when Desmond, because Desmond would come to visit the garden often to pretty much hang out with Maya and the other girls, he sees a little girl and he's fuming. He is furious. He's like, why is this 12-year-old girl here? How, she has to be young, super young. And so that was a breaking point for him. He felt like at this point now, I have to talk about what's happening. And he gets her real name. He goes to the police, and police come and all that stuff. Well, as the police are arriving at the scene, the butterfly garden explodes because of the formaldehyde that is there. And the formaldehyde is used in his little process to put the girls in the glass in their little butterfly cages or whatever. And so it's an explosion, and the garden is pretty much destroyed by this explosion and the fire. And I thought the irony that his father's garden was also destroyed by a fire, and now his is being destroyed by a fire / explosion. And I thought that was a very ironic thing to put into the book. I like that part of the book. So moving past that, you know, then we get to the part where we're in the present finally. Maya is still talking with the investigators and the FBI agents and things like that, and she goes to the hospital to visit all the girls. And the ending is a big, huge plot twist. Like, a huge plot twist, which I appreciated and didn't appreciate because the plot twist left me feeling so indifferent. So we find out that prior to Maya being kidnapped and taken to the butterfly garden, she was living with a bunch of girls in this apartment. It was like 8 of them, and they worked together, they were friends. It was like the only family she really ever had or ever known. And one of the girls there actually escaped from the butterfly garden. So one of the girls that she lived with, worked with, became friends with, was actually somebody who was a part of the butterfly garden and escaped. Maya knew that this girl was in the butterfly garden. She didn't put 2 and 2 together though until she got there. So like, it's hard to explain because I don't want to give every detail, but the fact of the matter is that when Maya was taken and brought there and she woke up, she knew where she was. So she had been kidnapped by somebody that had once kidnapped one of her friends. So in my mind, I'm thinking like, okay, what the freak? Like, at the end, pretty much, the butterfly garden is destroyed. Some of the girls survived, some of them died, some of them are in critical conditions. Some of them, all of them will have to carry this traumatic experience with them for the rest of their lives. And this is actually a trilogy, it's a collection, so there's 3 books. I'm not freaking reading in the other 2. I'm not doing that to myself. I'm never reading a Dot Hutchison book ever again, actually. So that was the first time and the last time I ever read anything from her. Not that she's a bad writer, but the content that she writes, hard pass. Honestly, would I recommend this book to anybody? If somebody asked me, would you recommend it based on how objectively good the book is? Absolutely. If you asked me to recommend this book based on how I felt, absolutely freaking not. Like, honestly, the whole book can get thrown in a garbage can. Like, the book's gotta go. And so do I. So, I hope you guys enjoyed this reading vlog. It's been a ride. I'm glad it's over. Bye.